Well, howdy hey. I'm back here on the Guardians SMP deep underground because we needed a whole bunch of tuff. We've got 2 shulkers absolutely full of it, which is fantastic because, as you probably saw in the thumbnail, we're going to be starting work on the mega base, which is definitely a big project and it's definitely going to take a while, but I want to start it for sure, and I've just gathered up all the materials for it, so let's head back up and discuss some plans. And whilst just mining that tuff, we got a whole lot of diamond ore, so let's actually place this down and break it with the correct pickaxe. 41, that's not bad. That puts us at over a stack of blocks. That's kind of crazy. I should really start spending money. No more procrastinating. We really have to get started on this mega build. So here we are at the arch frame that we built last episode, and I felt like I should probably talk through it a little bit. So obviously it's not going to be like a frame like this. It's going to be like a properly developed mountain thing, and I want to add one more prong to it, if that makes sense. If these two are like prongs, I want one more somewhere back here, which means we've got a whole lot more ocean terraforming to do. But for now, we're just going to start with this, and I want to construct maybe not most, but a good chunk of the front of it for now. Before we actually do anything, I was informed that my toolbox was in the end, so let's go grab it. Okay, so maybe a little bit more procrastinating. And sure enough, there it is, my gearbox. I completely forgot about it. Okay, so now that we're actually back, we've got shulker of each of the 4 core stones I want to use, and quite a bit of dripstone. Not a ton, but quite a bit of dripstone. And obviously we've got a ton of dirt and a ton of moss. So let's start figuring out how I want to do this, because I definitely want this to be a little bit less steep initially. Alright, so I've got a general idea of what I'm doing. I'm throwing a little bit of dripstone here and there, and mostly moss and terracotta. I don't know if the terracotta will stick around. We might actually have to rethink that, because it looks really good on the mountain. And I'm starting to figure out a shape for this ring, and then we just kind of tower it up. And it's going to take a bit to figure out how to shape it into this properly. So let's get into a little bit of a time lapse and build up this little hill. And there we go. I think that this sort of gets across the design philosophy I want to do for this. And yeah, I did not do the back, but that's because I really don't want to, because I don't really know what I'm going to fully do with it yet. So yeah, that's kind of like the idea of the hill. I want to do a little bit of like prettifying, putting some like bushes here and there, trees, like kind of like those. I kind of want these and some of these here and there. And I'm actually going to do that later today, but for now I want to set my sights on this because I kind of want to mess with it a little bit to just see what I'm looking for. And, well, I think that this is a pretty good representation of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, as I said, I'm not doing the back yet. And this isn't just because I'm lazy. It actually is for good reason. I need to expand the ocean further back here and add a third, like, pylon, I guess is the best word I can use for that. But yeah, we need to do that sometime soon. But for now, I want to shift gears a little bit and just like work on some more detailed stuff down here and talk through it rather than do anything time-lapsey. Impromptu build school. Let's go. So to start with, I thought I would introduce my nature detailing kit. It has all sorts of like foliage and anything that could be useful in the detailing of nature. So I want to go through my process. Bamboo is a very easy way to make it look a little bit more chaotic. So you just want to plant one and wait for it to grow with string. I don't advise staring at it like this. And you can also always just like bone meal it. And I suggest you don't overdo any one of these things. So like whenever you're done placing one of them, you just fly away and take a look, and it shouldn't look too different from how you started. Now you're going to put away whatever you just were working on and move on to your next piece of foliage. It doesn't really matter, but I really like doing ferns. I think ferns are really pretty and can add a lot. And now you pretty much just repeat with every other piece of foliage in the box. And when you're done, you should have a product something like this. And I think it adds so much to this build. I think it looks great. And I'm going to do a little bit of that here and here. Definitely use some leaves like hanging over if you're going to have it on like a ledge like this. And yeah, a little bit more detail. It does really add a lot. So with some beautiful terraforming complete, let's head on to a very, very different subject for this episode. And that subject is this shulker box. It's filled with rockets, but that's kind of annoying. So let's fix that. Correction, let's try to fix that and fail miserably. What do I mean by that? I think that we don't need a rocket box anymore. We want a wireless rocket. So I'm setting up an update suppressor right here. If you don't know what this is and have not seen it before, I'll link a video explaining it in the description, but it's a very cool concept and I'm gonna be honest, I'm completely out of my comfort zone. I don't know what I'm doing. So let's get to building this lag suppressor. It's kind of big and clunky, so it might take a little bit. And here is our first step of our... And there we go. We've got the first step of our update suppressor built. We need like 200 hay bales. I have 26. That is an interesting place for a village house, and this is an interesting way to put a farm here. And I thought that the hay bales would be the hard part. Turns out I need almost 2 shulkers of rails. Powered rails. And that's not even mentioning the slime.
They just bought 4 stacks of slime blocks from me, which they didn't tell me what they're for, and I'm genuinely curious what they're for now.
Only the greatest of reasons. Yeah, this build took way longer than I'm willing to admit. And there it is. This machine looks incredible. Now all we have to do, let's press this button. I don't know what this machine does, so I'm a little scared. Boop. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This was actually intended behavior from the machine, and you can't prove otherwise. So, needless to say, this was a colossal waste of time, where I only managed to crash the server 6 times and accomplish nothing. However, it was funny. We'll come back to this, but for now I'm gonna stick to what I'm good at until I figure out how to do this properly. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Making sure it works properly, huh? Yeah, it really would make sense for me to have actually checked if this would work. And yeah, I did spend like 8 hours gathering all that gold. Okay, so back to what I'm actually good at. And what else am I good at? Not much, to be honest, but I've got a whole lot of leads, a whole lot of name tags, and a whole lot of wheat because I've got an idea. Let's just go and find some animals for no particular reason. Oink. 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 Yes, follow me, yes. Yes. Oh yes, it's working. Oh yes, it's just as I imagined. Oh. And done. Look, we just came here and did Frit a service by making her a free pig farm. It's free! How could she not like it? It's just a free little pig farm. And, only 1 pig was harmed in the making of this. You saw nothing. Can't prove otherwise. So, let's return to what I'm actually great at and get some more of this build done, since I want to get maybe this much done today. And then we can get the other half done tomorrow and start working on some of the actual build part instead of just the terrain. So, let's get started. Is that a rainbow? These shaders just get better and better, don't they? But yeah, ignoring the rainbow, I just wanted to take a look up here and discuss some plans. We've got quite a bit of space to work with, and I don't think it fully makes sense to utilize it with tiny structures like these, although I do want some of these tiny structures here and there. Recently on my TikTok, I happen to have done a build with the archway style, definitely on a smaller scale, but I want to send you guys over to the creative world where I did that specifically so I can show you all the idea I have, the idea for this build I've been playing with is this. It's kind of interesting, I think. It's like this futuristic civilization themed around copper, prismarine, and like just purple, I guess. But yeah, definitely leave your input in the comments because I'm super curious what you all think, because I could go any of those directions, because honestly, the terraforming's my biggest accomplishment, to be completely honest. Yeah, I'm afraid it is that time of the episode again where I ran out of time to record stuff. In fact, I'm way over time for recording stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I've done way more than I really should, but I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. It's definitely different to what I normally do, but it has been really fun to record, and I really want to see Frit's reaction to the pig farm. I really do. But I hope you all have enjoyed. Yeah, most of my time for recording was spent gathering gold for this thing, and you know, it would have been actually cool if the machine worked, but we're gonna still try to get it to work in a future episode, but for now we're gonna stick to what I'm actually good at. But yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!